Okay, let's look at problem number 2, simplifying a rational expression containing a trinomial. What is the simplified form of 3x minus 6 over x squared minus 6? State any excluded values. So I've written it here on my whiteboard, and what I need to do first is factor. So looking at the numerator first, 3x minus 6, I have a common factor of 3, so I have x minus 2. The bottom is the quadratic equation, so I can break it up. The 6 has, negative 6 has factors of negative 2 and positive 3. So I have x plus 3 and x minus 2. I have, unlike on top and bottom, x minus 2. So they cross out. And I'm left with 3 over x plus 3. To find my excluded values, I use my denominator and I set those equal to 0. So that's x plus 3 equal to 0. And x minus 2 equal to 0. And so x cannot equal negative 3, and x cannot equal 2. So those are my excluded values. And that's the same thing they got here. So now it says, what is the simplified form of the expression? State any excluded values. Let's start with a. Again, I'm going to look at my numerator first. And I see they have a common factor of 2. So that's x minus 4. And my denominator is a quadratic, so I can factor out the negative 8. There are common factors of x minus 4 and x plus 2. And if you don't remember how to factor trinomials or quadratic equations, please go back and review polynomials and factoring, lesson 8. Okay, so it's very important that you already know how to factor, because if you can't factor these, then this won't make any sense. So if you don't remember, you have to go back and review chapter 8. Okay, so I see like on top and bottom is x minus 4, so I get 2 over x plus 2. For my excluded values, again, I look at my denominator, and I get x minus 4 equals 0, and x plus 2 equals 0, so x cannot equal 4, and x cannot equal negative 2. Alright, so again, I look at my numerator, and I see that I have a minus 2 and a minus 1, and at the bottom I can factor it to 3 and a minus 1. So my a minus 1s counts out, and I'm left with a minus 2 over 3. And then I set my denominator equal to 0. So that is a, and this is before I factor out, that's what I set equal to 0. And I get a cannot equal 1. Alright, let's look at the next one. For my numerator, I factor out a 6. So 6 times z plus 2. And my denominator is a little different this time because I have a value. And again, if you don't remember, we're going to go back to factoring. And factoring, it talks about factoring when you have an a value here. So factoring with special cases, factoring. So if you don't remember how to factor, you definitely need to go back to this lesson. Okay. So if I do that, I get 32. And my factors of 32 that add up to 7. And I'm sorry, I actually made a mistake in writing this problem down. This is a 6. So if I look at the 2 and the 6, I get 12. And my factors of 12 are 3 and 4. So I get 2z squared plus 3z plus 4z plus 6. So I factor by grouping. And just looking at my denominator, I get at the bottom a z can come out. So I'm left with 2 plus 3, 2z, I'm sorry. And then at the bottom here, I can factor out a 2. And what's left is 2z plus 3. And still at the top, 6 plus 2. So I'm running out of space. I'm going to have to erase some of this up here. Add a little bit more factoring on that one. Okay, I apologize for that. And so I get 6 over 6z plus 2. And I pull out a z and a plus 2. So I have z plus 2. And I have a 2z plus 3, which is alike. And as you can see, those cross out, and I'm left with 6 over 2z plus 3. To find my excluded values, I see z plus 2 equal to 0, and 2z plus 3 equal to 0. So z cannot equal negative 2 here. If I subtract 3, I get 2z equals negative 3 divided by 2. I get z cannot equal negative 3 over 2. And I think there was actually one more. Let me check. Yes. So I have c squared minus c minus 6 over c squared plus 5c plus 6. And so I factor again. And so for that negative 6, my factors would be c minus 3 and c plus 2. And for that positive 6, it would be c plus 3 and c plus 2. So my c plus 2's cancel out, and I'm left with c minus 3 over c plus 2. For my excluded values, I use everything here. So I have c plus 3 equal to 0 and c plus 2 equal to 0. So c cannot equal negative 3 and c cannot equal negative 2. I hope this helps.